Hi, my name is Michelle Sheen. I am an incoming junior at Sunny Hills High School, and I write for my school newspaper, The Accolade, as a reporter and copy editor. I'm involved in several clubs across the campus, including UNICEF, World Wildlife Fund, and Red Cross. I have a passion for art and the environment and love to binge watch movies during my free time. Today, I'm here on the behalf of the Teen Pop magazine, which is the first online magazine for high schoolers that give young, aspiring journalists the opportunity to share their voice, build their writing portfolio, and receive peer feedback and mentorship in the editorial industry. In addition to contributing and submitting content, the writers can connect with each other, share ideas, and help each other improve. If you would like to write for them, drop an email at uplanner0@gmail.com. Today, I'm with Black Lives Matter movement activist Raheemat Sofola. She is currently about to start her second year of A-levels at Monkton Combe School. She is planning to study law at a university in England, and she is the head of house on her school, as well as one of the creators and leaders of her school's equality team, a role that blends her passion for justice, equality, and community. Born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria, teachers remember her as someone who always lent a helping hand and put others before herself. Her love of helping and entertaining people has led to her choice of becoming a lawyer and inspired her to create her own YouTube channel where she gives advice and does tutorials. So, could you begin by telling us about your own relationship to Black Lives Matter?
Yes, hi everyone. So I would say my relationship to Black Lives Matter obviously stems from the fact that I am Black, and I'm not the type of person to see injustice take place, especially to people who look like me and people who have the same skin color as me. So I guess I'm the type of person to want to speak up about it and educate people and create awareness on it.
So, what is Black Lives Matter movement to you, and how do you see it?
I guess to me, Black Lives Matter is just a movement that tries to show the importance of Black lives. And I know that a lot of people say, all lives matter. And yes, I completely agree, all lives do matter. But at this point in time, Black lives are like, they're not seen as important as the rest. So at this point, Black Lives Matter is really important. And to me, it's just something that is really just creating awareness about the injustice going on. And I think it's just really important that everyone really understands what it's about and what it's telling people, I guess.
Yeah. Have you ever faced racism? And if you did, how did you overcome it?
Kind of. I've not directly, but I've gone into a supermarket and seen the policemen or guards just keep an eye on me and just look at me in a strange way. And I guess in my school, people say some things that I guess are not right. And I just joined a new school last September, so I came in really shy and everything. So at that point, when people would say stuff and use words that they're not supposed to use, at that point I was still like really shy and I didn't want to get under anyone's toes, and I was so quiet. I'm not a quiet person, but at that point I became an introvert and I didn't really say anything. But I feel like since I've been there, I've kind of grown, and when people would say things to me about things like that, I'm like, no, like this is how it is. Don't think like that. This is how it's supposed to be. And I guess the way that I overcome it, like I said, is just like talking to people about it and just trying to create more awareness about it.
Yeah. Have you ever attended a Black Lives Matter protest, and what was it like?
Unfortunately, I'm back home in Nigeria and we haven't had any Black Lives Matter protests, so I haven't been able to attend one. But I hope that I am able to attend one soon because I feel like it would just be so uplifting for me seeing so many people supporting the movement, and it would just make me feel like I'm part of something that is going to make a change.
Do you believe in violence as a method of protest?
Right.
Oh, do you believe in violence as a method of protest?
I guess it's a bit two-sided because at first everyone was being peaceful, just walking, and the police started using violence to peaceful protesters, and then people started looting shops and things like that. And I feel like it wasn't until that happened that the government and other people started seeing the protest as something that was important and something that was significant. So before the violence, everyone just saw it as people are just walking up and down the street and shouting. But when the violence did start, then people started saying, oh, okay, so these people actually mean business and they actually want to change. So I guess to an extent, I feel like violence and protest is okay. But on the other hand, I feel like it's a bit like you're punishing like Black-owned businesses sometimes. You don't realize that stores are owned by Black people, and they're punishing those Black-owned businesses for not, I don't know, do you understand what I mean? I feel like it's kind of there's two sides to look at it, but I feel like it's more effective. Violent protests are a lot more effective than just peaceful ones. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think media plays a big part in portraying how the protests are. Mhm. So, what do you have to say about All Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter?
Yeah. So I said a bit about it earlier, but I think people that so obviously all lives matter. There's no way around that. All lives do matter, right? But at this point, Black lives are undervalued, and they have been for a while. So even though all lives do matter, since Black lives are being they're made to seem unimportant, then we need to start the Black Lives Matter movement, and it needs to be something that people see as important. And I saw this analogy: if there's a road of houses and some of them are burning a bit, and then there's one that is seriously burning, you're not going to go to the ones that are burning a bit and ignore the one that is seriously burning. It's the same way. All lives do matter, all the houses are important, but the one with the biggest flame needs to be attended to first. So I think people just need to understand that and try to just make themselves understand that things are unfair for Black people more than they are for, let's say, white people, because that's just how things have been. And until that changes, then Black lives.
Yeah, absolutely correct. So many Black Lives Matter activists are using this momentum behind this movement against police brutality to also raise awareness for other issues like economic inequality and discrimination against Black LGBTQ people. Why do you think this intersectional approach to activism is important?
I guess it's important just because there are certain times where, like what happened with George Floyd, it has happened, and I guess people just try to use it as a platform to bring other things to light. Because if you don't try and mix everything, you're just going to be talking about one thing when there's so many other things that you need to talk about. And because normally when activists talk about issues like Black Lives Matter and nothing major has happened to get people's attention. People don't really take it seriously. People don't see that they're just talking and everything. So I feel like when something big happens, then you have to bring in everything so people know that it's not just that. And there's so many other things that need to be changed, like you said about the treatment of Black LGBT people, the income inequality between race, the discrimination, and things like that. So I think it's important that, that activists bring in other things when there's a fairness.
And the Black Lives Matter movement was a campaign started and founded by 3 Black women, Alicia Garza, Patrice Colors, and Opal Tometi. As a woman yourself, how do you perceive the success of this movement, and what would you like to tell those people who believe that women don't deserve to have a role of power?
Well, I guess the first thing I would say is anyone that says women don't deserve to have a role of power needs to just change their mentality. Because I guess a lot of people think, oh, because of how things were in the past, that women shouldn't, have jobs and women shouldn't be in charge of things. But I think that women have just as much as a right to do it, and we can do it just as well as a man. And there are so many things that women have done, have started and have succeeded in, like Tana Burke with the Me Too movement and Rosa Parks that started changing the way that people saw Black people and everything. So I think women are not giving enough credit for the amount of power and the amount of strength that they have. And I think that the movement has definitely grown a lot, and it has definitely gotten a lot of awareness from a lot of people. And I think that the movement has changed things. Because without the Black Lives Matter movement, I don't think anything would have happened with the killers of George Floyd. I don't think the Breonna Taylor law would. It's been successful, and I think that it still needs to grow more, that more still needs to be done. But that I feel like the dream of what they wanted to do, I think is coming to play, and it is making a change in how people.
I'm so glad that this Black Lives Matter movement brought light to a bunch of other issues, and is also empowering, women to stand up
for their rights, definitely.
Okay, so the next series of questions are going to be really fast, like you just have to answer spontaneously, and they're just what you like. So first one is, who's your favorite Black activist?
I would say probably Tana Burke, because she started the Me Too movement, and maybe like Oprah, because she's just showing that Black women can do so much, I guess.
Okay, and the second question is, what is one word you can use to describe the Black Lives Matter movement?
Uplifting.
Yes. And if you know of a book written by a Black person, can you name one that has changed you or impacted you?
I guess a book that I'm Lost and Cosmos. I love that book. And also Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. And Lost and Cosmos is by Mali Blackman. Yeah.
And if you know of any movie that revolves around the Black Lives Matter movement. Can you name one that really impacted you?
I think one that really touched me was when they see us, about the Central Park Five that were imprisoned for the rape of a white woman and they didn't actually do anything. I think that really spoke to me and showed me things how things are so unfair towards Black people and how things definitely need to change.
Yeah. And last question. Do you have an artist or art that was created by a Black artist that you really like?
So there was this piece of art that was created by someone that I know. His name is Temiwa Top, that's what he calls himself. But it was just an art of George Floyd and the policeman that killed him, that said, "I can't breathe." And that was just so powerful to me because, like everyone should already know, George Floyd said, "I can't breathe," like 20 something times, and he was just ignored and ended up dying. And I think that picture just spoke to me a lot.
Yeah. So thank you for being able to be interviewed.
Thank you for having me.
Um,